Hi Leo, welcome to your July 2025 astrology with me, Raphael. If you are celebrating this month, if you are a July born Leo, happy damn birthday to you. I truly hope you have a wonderful solar return if you're watching this for your sun sign. If you are a July born, I really do hope you have a wonderful time. Remember, you want to make your birthday look exactly like you want the whole year ahead to have in it, right? So little token things of all the good stuff that you want for the year ahead. Now, with that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. If you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button. So I'm using whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. If you and remember, if you're only going to watch one of these, I would make sure it's for your ascendant or your rising sign. It's going to be that much more accurate for you on the day-to-day level. With that said, whenever I put this content together for you guys, it's always in the hope that it's going to help support you to create in the month ahead in a way that really helps you sort of move forward. So your astrology is going to give you one slice, your tarot is going to give you details and specifics on certain things or topics, and your numerology is going to give you your cycles and your vibrations and your energies. So use these as a triplet to plan your month ahead, and you will always be going in the right direction. Now, with that said, let's get straight into it. So, on the 4th of July, Venus is going to come into a conjunction with Uranus, and this is happening in your 10th house. Your public sector, your reputation, your legacy, how you meet the world. Now, for many of you, you already know, I am a Leo rising, so I always give the example that when you think radiant reality and you associate that with me, when you think about my reputation as what I do out in the world and how you guys know me, that is the 10th house, right? That's my public persona. It's the work that I do. It's the honors that I get. It's also the authority and the legacy that I have in the world, right? So whatever your work or your career is, how the world meets you, right? When they first kind of set eyes on you is your 10th house. Now, Venus for you rules your third house of communications, conversations, and day-to-day interactions. She also rules your 10th house because she rules Taurus as well. Uranus is the modern rule of Aquarius, so technically this rules your seventh house as well. This is all happening in the space of your chart that is about your career, it's about your visibility, your reputation, as I said, and your legacy. And the result of that could be absolutely electric. Venus is, after all, the lesser benefic, so this could be blessings of some sort, right? Spontaneous Uranus, blessings Venus. So what happens when you weave the symbolism together? That's a very, very sort of surface level combination, though, but you get what I mean. When we say Uranus, we say expect the unexpected, right? This could be surprise opportunities, a sudden change of status, a shocking announcement of some sort around your career could arrive at this time. It could also be that you are making a shocking announcement at this time, whether this is a new offer, maybe sudden redirection of some sort. This is really, it's a part of a larger timeline of an overhaul that's been unfolding for you for quite some time. So Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus now for about 6 or 7 years, right? And trust me, I know about it because I've been living this transit. And so your public image is likely to start evolving fast, especially in how you express your values, beauty, your voice out in the world, right? What you're communicating to and with the world. If something gets disrupted at this moment in time, just do kind of give yourself a moment to breathe and reflect on it in the sense of, you know what, this is happening to really liberate me from some kind of professional path that's maybe just too small for my soul at this moment in time. Now, on the 5th of the month, Venus is going to enter Gemini. So this is really interesting because Venus coming into Gemini means that she's coming into your 11th house, networks, communities, friendships. The 11th house is also social media as well as friendships, group ties that you're connected to. And it can be a really nice transit, actually. Now, think of it like this. If the 11th house is also the gains that you get from your business, so this is a money house technically, this could be that and the 11th house is also benefactors, people that are higher up, people that can help you or guide you in some way, especially on the path towards a greater or brighter future for yourself. And since Venus is a blessing energy, This could be a really, really wonderful energy for you. Now, it's bringing support and pleasure. Remember, Venus turns on the charm. Wherever she goes, she kind of sweetens that area of your life. Friendships could flourish around this time. Professional alliances could become smoother. Maybe you attract new clients, new collaborators, new allies, people that are coming in at this time that really help you in some way. Now, this could be coming through social media or digital spaces, as I mentioned earlier. It's also a really good time to return to the joy and the pleasure around your larger dreams and goals and aspirations. And because it's Venus, you could find that there are blessings from friends and benefactors that really say to you, this is actually possible, and here is how it's going to be so. Are your friendships and your associations really aligned with where you're going? Especially also with your current identity, which is this month is going to start to shift, and you'll see why when we get into the latter end of this month as I talk about it. If it's not, she's going to sweeten the path forward to the right possibilities and more importantly, the right people. Because Venus is about harmony, contracts, commitments, connecting to people, connecting to others, diplomacy as well. So this could open up new avenues and doors for your future, which is very, very exciting. On the 7th of the month, Uranus is going to come into the sign of Gemini, right? And straight away, as soon as it enters Gemini, it's going to trine Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. So for you, this is happening across the 11th house, friendships, social media, digital spaces, group alliances and associations. It's even your 11th house is also kind of like your public perspective. And what I mean by this is like this is whether you align with one group or another kind of stuff. You know, I don't talk politics here, but even still, right? So the 11th house is forming a really gorgeous trine to Pluto. So this is Uranus and Pluto for the first time in what feels like forever in harmonious flow across the air signs, which for you in your chart rule the social houses. So you've got the seventh house of partnerships, relationships, connections on that one-to-one level, right? Relationships of all kinds, personal, professional, and platonic, are coming into a connection with your friendships, with the group associations, or the people and the forces that you choose to truly align with. Now, lightning strikes here, right? Because this is your social life and your future goals are getting revolutionized in some way. Reinventions are possible with this, right? Big leaps forward in some way, shape, or form. And it's going to center around your collaborations and your partnerships. You're being asked now, remember with this transit, this is you're only getting about 3 months of Uranus in Gemini before it comes back into Taurus to finish up its business. And then in 2026, it will go in, I think it's like April of 2026, it's going to go in for full time, right? Certainly for the next 6, 7 years. So you're being called to really align with people who match your frequency and who help you launch your bigger visions out in the world. Expect new friendships, expect deep partnerships to come out of this as well. Radical shifts in your romantic, your personal, professional, and business life that really support your long range goals and dreams and missions. Old contracts are going to fall away at this moment in time. And I will say, because remember, Uranus is the planet of divorce. So this could be sudden friendship endings. So Uranus is the planet of divorce. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth and regeneration. Your true allies now are going to start to show up. Now, not all of this is going to happen just in this month or even the next 3 months. This is giving you a little taster. You're getting a little amuse-bouche, as I like to say, right? You're having a little taste to see what it tastes like, what it looks like, how it's likely to show up. And then you get to prepare for when it comes in full time next year. But it's going to be a shake up, right? There's no getting around that. On the 10th of the month, we've got Capricorn full moon in your sixth house. This is going to light up your house of work, health, service to the world. It's also the challenges that you carry in some way, shape, or form as well. Something in your daily life now is probably going to come to a head. Remember, a full moon is a completion, an ending, or a culmination, or a combination of all of the above. What I will say to you about this is this could be the end of projects. It could be a decision that absolutely slaps where you're like, right, okay, I know what I'm doing. You get clarity around your health, around your physical health and vitality. And the moon has a fated undertone here, right? Because it's going to be connecting to the nodes which for you are in your second and eighth houses at this moment in time. So the full moon is going to be trying to the south node in your second house of money, finances, and resources, self-worth, self-value, or rather the things that produce the feeling of value within you. It's also your diet as well, the second house, right? So it's in a trine to that south node. If there's something you've always wanted to eliminate from your diet, maybe there's a habit that you've got that you know is not good for you, this is likely to be the time where you're able to really maximize on that because a full moon is an ending, right? So you could say, right, I'm done with that, I'm ending that. Now, as if that wasn't enough, there's another transit coming that's also going to really help with this as well. Um, on the, oh gosh, come on, brain. Um, Oh my gosh. Yeah, on the other side of it, the full moon is going to be sextile to the to the north node in the sign of Pisces, which for you is your eighth house. Eighth house is the house of debts, taxes, loans, the taboo, but it's also death, rebirth, regeneration, and your deep psychological makeup. Now, if you think that the full moon is a time of deeply emotional sort of volatility, it naturally just is, right? Especially because when you think about a full moon, this is where the sun and the moon are opposed. Well, you are the sun, Leo, right? So you're being opposed by the moon, right? The sun represents your soul, the moon represents your mind and your body. And so, in some way, shape, or form, the body, the health, the physical health and vitality, the day-to-day habits, patterns, routines, what you're doing for work, how you're doing that work, all of this stuff is going to get a big shake up at this time. And when I say a shake-up, not like a Uranian shake-up, more of like a revelation kind of energy. This is really a time to let go of what drains you, what holds you back, what creates boundaries that are too hard to overcome, and step fully into new rhythms, new patterns, new even new obligations, but new obligations that you kind of set for yourself to say, right, this is what's important right now. And what's interesting about that is given that the sun obviously is in the sign of Cancer, which is in your 12th house, that sun is putting a spotlight on what is truly at the depths of who you are in the intangible spaces, what's important to you. And the moon, being the opposite energy to that in the sign of Capricorn, is really highlighting how that shows up or how it's likely to show up on a daily basis. This is about work, right? Work that truly serves you, right? Not just the work that pays the bills. It's really about what your greatest level of service is. What do you think you actually have to bring to the world that you can move towards day to day? On the 18th of the month, we've got Mercury going retrograde in your sign, in your first house, right? Now, Mercury is the ruler of your second house, your money, finances, and resources. It's also the ruler of your 11th house, which is also a money house. So there's definitely a financial element to this for sure. But I don't think it's so much that you're focused just on the money. I think it's more a case of you're focused on how you show up, how you present to the world. You're rethinking everything, your body, your mind, your outlook, your personality, the shifts that are taking place at the moment on that internal level. Because remember, when a planet goes retrograde, its energy is turned inward, and Mercury is the mind. So you're bringing that focus really deeply into yourself to say, right, okay, who am I now? What do I want? Where am I going from here? Right? More importantly, what value, what worth do I have? Mercury rule in Virgo rule in the second. And, now that I understand the value and the worth that I have, how do I bring that out into the world? And how does it forge my path moving forward? How does that really enable me to get out there into the world and connect to people in a larger sense? And that's the 11th house, right? This is a deep personal recalibration of some sort. You might revisit your, how you present and speak and how you act at this moment in time. You could change your mind about a major decision when it comes to like yourself. And I'm going to say this, like, there might be, because remember, Mercury retrograde is always a period where things are a little confusing and miscommunications take place. People might misunderstand your intentions at this moment in time. So, and I'm not saying do things by committee, but what I am saying is the changes that you're making and you're implementing, a lot of people may not understand moving forward. Now, it's not your job to make them understand unless what you're doing directly impacts them. then giving people a heads up is a courtesy, right? This is also a really powerful time to rewrite your self story, how you speak to yourself, how you focus on yourself, how you look at yourself. What identity have you been wearing that no longer fits who you really know yourself to be? This is you reclaiming a narrative of some sort on a very deep level. And I love that for you. On the 20th of March, this is the second half of the full moon transit, right? And I say that because Mars is going to come into a conjunction with the South Node. Mars is cutting, slicing, severing, lasering, removing, right? Venus makes an area beautiful, but Mars is the one that really comes in to clear the debris. And Mars in Virgo, I actually like Mars in Virgo. Not so thrilled about Mars in the second house because it usually comes with it's like you're burning through cash, right? For one reason or another. Now, Mars for you rules your fourth house because it's the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and it also rules your ninth house because it's the ruler of Aries. So, and this aligning with the South Node is a draining point. It's an ending. It's where we get rid of, release something. So Mars is cutting. The North Node, the South Node is draining or removing, and this is happening in your house of money, finances, resources, self-worth, your possessions as well. For some of you, this might be a moment of purging around old survival fears, toxic attachments to income or money in some way, old and outdated beliefs around your self-worth, around your money, about what you can or can't have because of who you are and where you come from. All of this stuff could be really, really potent at this time, and it could be very much here. Now, because of the second house is involved, if you are an emotional eater, an emotional drinker, if you're somebody that turns to substances, listen, live your best life. I'm just saying, right? This is a time to really be conscious of it. Because if you can sit with the feeling and really delve into releasing and getting rid of those beliefs, those issues around self-worth and self-value, and also as well, in a sense, how you belong to yourself, it's possible that if you can sit with that long enough, you can really undo some of that. And because this is the second part of that full moon transit that took place on the 10th, right? Funny, isn't it, that we had the 10th and now we've got the 20th. It kind of feels like whatever is highlighted to you on the 10th around that full moon, this day, the 20th, is the time where you can say, right, fucking breaking that now and done, right? As many of you know, I am a sugar fiend. It's my vice. Maybe I'll be able to find the willpower to stop eating so much sugar. Who knows, right? But whatever this is for, and this will be my challenge as well, right? So when I have certain things come up around my thoughts and my ideas and my beliefs about what I can and can't do and can and can't have and all the rest of it, this is my moment, right? To say, well, that's actually no longer true. And what is true is what I decide or tell myself is true. If there's a loop of under earning, overspending, tying your confidences to money, I'm so grateful that I no longer do that. This transit is calling it out and it's helping you cut that off, right? Mars in Virgo which is all about refinement and precision, is really serving this practical, deliberate, and necessary energy that you need to really ask you to bring and be your own value in some way, not to prove it. Okay, let go of what you've outgrown, sort of materially, energetically, or even psychologically. On the 21st of the month, we've got Venus at the bendings of the nodes. So we've got Venus in your 11th house, and she'll be square to the nodes in your second and your eighth house. This is Venus as the ruler of your third house, communications, conversations, what you speak, also your mind and your skill set. It's also the ruler of your career house of Taurus, right? Your public status. And it's squaring the nodes in your second and eighth houses. This is a fated and or destined crossroads of sorts when it comes to money, power, intimacy, purpose. Also, you could probably say also identity as well, even though the first house isn't indicated here. That Mercury retrograde that's taking place in your sign will be, in some regard, it will be speaking, certainly from a whole sign sextile, will be speaking to Venus, who is obviously at the bendings of the nodes. You might be forced to confront an old money story or a value system. And, this seems to be a theme for you throughout the month, right? It's also the square brings a reckoning to your social sphere in some way. Your current networks, your current friendships, your current alliances. One of the things that I do feel like is really coming up at the moment is and this is quite deep to talk about, right? But it's like, and maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, but it's like, you have those friends that are, that have been really good friends, but then something shifts and changes, and you kind of get the feeling that they only keep you around so that they can feel better about themselves. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, well, my life might not be where I would like it to be right now, but at least it's not theirs. Does that might make sense to some of you? And Uranus in the 11th, right? At this point, there's going to be some big shifts and some going to be some big changes that are happening at this time. Do they uplift your long-term legacy or trap you at a surface level of validation? Is it true connection, or is it really just about internal power plays or one-upmanship in some way? Venus here might tempt you with something that seems really sparkly on the surface, but you really need to dig deep to ask yourself if it's actually aligned. What you value at this moment in time is really unfolding and evolving, right? Who you align with is really going to need to match the frequency of where you're going. And also expect fated conversations. Gemini is a communicative sign, it's in a social house for you. So, fated conversations with friendships, unexpected offers, potentially, or even important invitations that really test your clarity, but also testify to who you are now and where it is that you want to go. All right. On the 23rd, happy damn birthday to you, Leo. The sun enters your first house. It comes back into the sign that it loves most, right? Aside from Aries, because the sun is exalted in Aries. But truth be told, Leo is the sun. You are the sun. And when it comes back into, and I say this to everybody, when the sun comes into your sign, it's like you get this infusion, right? Whatever sign you are, you get this infusion of light, heat, vitality, joy, buoyancy, happiness, rebirth, protection, all of these wonderful lightness energies. And, truth be told, you've just come out of a 12th house sun transit, and now it's coming into your first house. You're going to feel much more like yourself. The sun returns to your sign, you return to yourself as well, right? Your solar rebirth for the year, a full activation or reactivation of yourself comes in. And this next month is really your time to lead, to shine, to be unapologetically and embodied in who you are. Your vitality is going to like come back up. Visibility will potentially increase. Others notice you. You become more magnetic and more brilliant than you usually are. But don't be afraid to show the fire and the depth, right? It doesn't just have to be, yes, I feel more like myself now, and everybody can be nice to me again, or everybody can see me. They can also see the parts of you that have shifted and changed over that time as well, over the course of the last year. Now, as that comes up, because the attention is you bringing your focus and attention, that's what the sun is, to your first house, your body, your mind, your personality, your outlook. Then on the 24th, we've got the Leo new moon in that first house. This is a new moon and it's your cosmic reset, setting intentions that center around your identity, your body, your self-worth, your path forward. Mercury is obviously still retrograde at this time, so it's more important to really think about your internal vows rather than your external proclamations. In fact, I wouldn't make any external proclamations at this time. I would just use this new moon as a moment to really deeply reacquaint and recalibrate with your soul and with what really feels right to you at this moment in time. And to know that wherever you go on this journey from here on in, right, it really is going to be more about you. When isn't it, Leo? Now, whatever that vow is that you're making to yourself, you're making this because you've kind of outgrown something. So the moon, this moon in particular, actually, it's marking a first full breath in a new skin, right? In a new version of yourself. On the 25th, the gift that just keeps on giving, the sun comes directly into an opposition with Pluto in your seventh house. This is potentially a raw and revelatory moment around your closest relationships. The sun in your first house, that's you, you're very strong here, but you've got Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, and Pluto is very strong in Aquarius as well. So there's a definite power struggle here, whether this is personal, professional, or platonic. Power dynamics, control, transformation, shifting and changing in love or in business or even with people that you consider really close one-to-ones. If someone is clinging, manipulating, or even projecting at this time, it's going to be exposed. So keep an eye out for what comes from who. If you are if it's you doing this, it's going to backfire. So my advice to you would be as upfront and as honest and as straight as possible. This is not light and fluffy, but it is profound. All right. True intimacy is what comes only after the masks have been taken off and shadows have been owned. Right. So you owning yours, them owning theirs, and then you seeing where you're really at. Now, this final transit, it only starts now. You won't get the full benefit of this into until into August, but on the 31st of the month, Venus is going to enter Cancer. She's coming into your 12th house. Venus as the ruler of the third and the 10th, so there'll be and coming into the 12th house of the past. This could be reconnections with people that you used to work with. It's a quiet blessing, a whisper in the dark, right? A love and healing and artistic and creative, and maybe even a return to something that really made you happy once upon a time. It doesn't have to be that you do this for work. It doesn't have to be that you do this to, even to share it with the world. In fact, you probably get more benefit from it if it is something really selfish. Like, I used to sing, right? When I say sing, I mean sing at the top of my lungs, wherever I was. You would see me out in the street. If I had my headphones on, I'd be dancing, I would be singing like that. That's just me. I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that for a long time. Like every so often, I'll have like a little sing and all the rest of it. But to get back to that might be really good for me. Or, and not to put it out on YouTube or anything like that, but just for myself, because it's something that I can do for myself that really helps me tap into the beauty and the joy of life. For some of you, a past love could return, a secret could be revealed to you. You might find comfort more, you'll definitely find more comfort in peace and solitude and silence. This is a time of really deep regeneration for you because you've got Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, so it's doing its work there in the 12th house. And now you get Venus come in. So this is blessings, potentially pennies from heaven of some sort. This is all kinds of blessings that come in through your dreams, through your hidden sector and sense of self. And I will say as well, August would be a really good time to take some kind of retreat, but we'll talk about that then. All right. With that said, let me know in the comments how it shapes up. If you want to book a personal natal chart reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. It would be my pleasure and my honor to read for you or to give you a consultation. Let me know how this shapes up for you. Happy damn birthday. Take care, and I'll see you soon.